Sharry. I'm Director of the Parents Plus charity.
And John, tell me a bit, what do you think is the biggest challenge facing Ireland post-recession?
The biggest challenge facing Ireland post-recession, or post-bailout if you like, is that there's going to continue to be economic problems and continuing to be a lot of societal problems coming down the line, and we need to prepare for how to deal with them. First and foremost, we still have a lot of debt to pay off. There's all that economic instability that's going to be there. Secondly, we have new challenges in the future that will be related to climate change, related to resources diminishing, probably scarcity of oil, and that's coming down the line. These are all things people aren't preparing for. So I think as a society we need collectively to think in Ireland how we want to survive these things, how we want to work together around that.
And what do you think the biggest challenge or the biggest block is, maybe ideologically, on Ireland addressing those challenges?
Well, I think the biggest block in addressing those challenges is the sort of, we completely bought into the idea that there's only one way forward, and that's the business as usual, or the growth economy, that we need to participate in the world economy of continuing to grow, continuing to exploit natural resources, continuing to, to build this sort of a bigger consumption of resources and so forth. And the fallacy of that model is that it's completely unsustainable, and that we're reaching the limits of that. It's produced incredible wealth in the short term, but in the long term it's leading to devastation of the environment, but also it's going to, in its own term, it will collapse because there's no longer the existing natural resources to sustain it. So I think we've completely bought into that's the only way forward, and it isn't. We have to start looking at alternatives. So we have to look at alternative way of building our economy that's sensitive to the environment, that uses local resources rather than bringing resources from all over the world, that builds sort of community employment, community connectedness. So we need to really rethink the problems we're facing, rethink the solutions.
And how do you think we can get to a more sustainable model? At what level does it need to be addressed?
I think it needs to be addressed at all levels. I think, like, in a way, at the moment, all we have is the personal and local community level. The only people who are aware of debating these ideas are things like the transition movements, or some of the local movements that like grow your own and so forth. But at a national level, it's completely blocked, considering that. So I think we need to address personal, community, and national. There's a lot of very simple things we could do nationally that would make a big difference, rather than sort of assuming that we all want to be totally connected to the world economy. Of course, we're there, but to think about what our national goals we could have around this. Like, for example, we could have simple things like of national goals around energy independence, national goals around sort of building local communities, or keeping economy and business within local communities, building resource and communities that people supply one another with resources and services, and these will build resilience for the future.
What sort of future would you like to see for Ireland?
The future I'd love to see for Ireland is there's great potential in Ireland. It has a small population. It's got a great history of sort of wisdom and innovation and community, some of which we've lost sadly in the last 10-15 years. We've sold out. I'd like to build a reconnected Ireland based around local communities, based around sort of a national goal of supporting one another through the challenging times that are ahead. And I don't underestimate that they're big, but I think with the power of people working together is phenomenal also.